told you this was gonna be tough, but hey guys, so this is a story that's long overdue, mainly because I've mentioned making this video for several times in my other videos and just haven't. This is about my experience with the opposite sex. Now, for those of you who have seen some of my other stuff, especially the sexual confidence video, it would be super understandable for y'all to assume that the chances of me ever having done anything with the opposite sex would be slim to none. But the truth of the matter is I have had experiences with the opposite sex. How? The women, the girls in my life were that aggressive, dominant, going after what they wanted type of chicks, and they just wanted a piece of this, you know. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like even my first girlfriend, I was maybe like 7 or 8. She was like 2 or 3 years older than I was, and our mothers were friends, so we knew each other. We hung out together a bit. But one day, out of nowhere, there was just this rumor floating around in school that she and I were going to make out in the McDonald's parking lot after school. And didn't know where that rumor started from. It was probably her, but yeah, I remember like, oh my gosh, I freaked out. You know, I seen people making out in movies, but I had no clue about to do it. I was like sweating bullets. Like, how do I do this? Because I have to show face. I have to be there. You know, I'd be the laughing stock of the school. So after school, sure enough, I go to McDonald's. I'm in the parking lot behind, and she's there. We're by these buses, and there's a little crowd from school there. So it was kind of like one of those fights after school kind of situation, but kissing instead. And so, yeah, I walk up to her. We just automatically start kissing, and then I remember feeling her tongue kind of entering my mouth and thinking, yuck. And not because it was a female, but because it was a tongue, and it was super gross at the time. So that's kind of what I thought. But everyone's looking, and so I just mimicked what she was doing, and so we kind of made out. After that, I became her boyfriend. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't ask her. I don't remember her asking me. I think it was just like, okay, you're my boyfriend now. And that was it, and I was her boyfriend. And I don't know how long we were together, not too long, I don't think so. But throughout my life growing up, I had similar situations with girls who they were not afraid to let me know that they liked me, and so they would be forward with me. And so I dated a few girls that way. So we'll fast forward to high school, because that's the stage in my life where I'm kind of still, you know, really in the whole struggle of me trying to accept who I am, and still having that moment of thinking, okay, I know that I'm attracted to men, but maybe I can still live this normal life. Maybe I can get married and have kids, and maybe that'll just die off once I'm married. Or maybe I can just learn to live with not satisfying that desire. That was still a path that I really struggled with. I had a friend who was throwing this house party, and so I go to the house party. I'm like the youngest person there. I was maybe, 16, 17 at the time. Everyone else was in their 20s, like they're full grown adults. And it was one of those like urban house parties with, you know, everyone smoking weed, and there's rap and reggae music playing on the radio. And so there's this girl there, we will call her Jessica. Now, Jessica was from the islands, and she was a fantastic, beautiful, tall, thin, like she looked like a model, a beautiful girl. And she could dance like so good, and she was so beautiful that super intimidating to the other guys. So no one wanted to dance with her, and she's going around, please dance with me. Nope. So I'm like, I'll dance with you. And again, I'm just kind of being naive. I'm thinking I'm a young kid, you know? So I get out there, I dance with her. We have a great night. A few days later, I get a call from my friend who hosted the party. And so we're kind of talking about just how the party went, and we had a great time. But then eventually she says something that makes me realize this is not my friend. And so I kind of cover the phone and I go to my sister. I'm like, who is this? She goes, that's Jessica. I'm like, oh, why is she talking to me? Why is she calling me? So I'm like, hey, how did you get my number, by the way? She goes, oh, I asked, our friend for your number. I just thought, you're really cute, and I thought that maybe we could kind of like hang out and see where this goes. So I'm thinking, okay, so I don't know if you guys remember there's Express, the clothing store, but back in the day, the men's section was a different kind of store altogether called Structure. I loved that store, and she worked at Structure. So I met her there, and she was a manager, and she kind of said, anything you want in the store is yours. So I was like, what? So I kind of go like a little shopping spree. Yeah, I was a kept man, I'll say that. No, I'm kidding. But go on the shopping spree and just get a few things. Not too crazy, but we talked every day, and we kind of, we dated. Our friend was throwing another party and invited both of us, so we showed up. But this was a night where she's like, why don't we just stay over there? And I kind of figured what was gonna happen, so I'm like, okay, and go to the party. Afterwards, we're just both sleeping on the floor, with just some blankets. And I remember her saying that she was on her monthly, and so she's like, it's cool if you don't want to do anything. And really at the time I didn't really know what I didn't know the difference, to be honest. And so but I'm thinking, okay, cool, thinking like, phew, I don't have to do anything, because I was freaking out, like, how do I do this? But we lay down on the floor and we like kind of go to sleep, but we kind of wake up in the middle of the night, and yeah, it happened. And I enjoyed it, like I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for me. But after that, that's when things really started to change. Like I remember, man, it must have been the next day, but I get home and my stepmom is like, hey, you need to tell your little girlfriend to stop calling. And I'm like, what? Because she called 13 times. I'm like, what? So I call her, I'm like, hey, Jessica, like, what's going on? You can't be calling me like that. You knew that I was at school. So she goes, I know, but when I need to get a hold of you, I just want to know that you're there, and I want to be able to, And so it got to the point where like in between classes, I would run to the payphone and call her just to kind of report for duty, just to check in with her. And that's where I was kind of thinking like, this is not normal. She started referring to me as her fiance, and she got me a ring. Like it was crazy. But I think my father, he ended up finding out about it, and he was super happy. He was thinking like, I'm sure he was thinking, oh, he's not gay. Not only that, but oh, this girl has some money. So whatever, I don't know. I'm just imagining what he might have been thinking. But needless to say, he was all for it. Us actually getting married, like that was kind of like floating out there. So I was like super scared, and by this point I kind of thought I was gonna, I think I had signed up for the military at that. Yeah, I think I already had. But just thinking like, how is this gonna end? I don't know what's gonna happen with this. At the same time, there was this girl at school that she sat behind me in class for the whole year, but for some reason in this moment, I just remember there was one night where I stayed late in school for some reason, and she was there for some reason, and we just end up talking with each other in this classroom for like hours, just her and I. And she was so beautiful and such a nice person. Like I was smitten from that conversation. Like from then on, every time I saw her in class, I would kind of talk to her. And just, real quick before I forget to say this, I am gay, but sexually I'm bisexual. Like I do find women attractive. It's just more that I would be much more selective with women. Like not all women, not even all women who would be deemed attractive. There's certain women that would kind of like, once I meet them and their personality where like things start to happen, if that makes any sense. So again, I don't really consider myself, I guess I am kind of bi, but I'm gay, like I live a gay life. so just to clear that up. But yeah, so going back to the story, I'm speaking to a friend of mine, and you know, he's like, what are you gonna do, you know, because Jessica wants to marry you and everyone's hearing about this. And I'm like, I don't know, there's this girl at school, and he was like, well, do you really like her? I said, I really do. Like, there's something special about her. And he's like, well, then you got to do it. Like, you have got to shoot your shot with her. And so that's basically what I did. I wrote her. I was such a grade schooler. Like, I wrote this letter like, oh my gosh, I think you're cute, and if you don't like me, then just rip up the letter and forget that I ever wrote this. But if you do, give me the letter back or something like that. So I pass it back to her. I'm like, oh my gosh. After class, she kind of calls me to the staircase and she hands me the letter. So I was super excited. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, start to go up the stairs, and she goes, hey, are you gonna kiss me or something? So go back down, kiss her, and I broke it up with Jessica, like just like that. And she called me every name in the book, and yeah, she was like, she did not take it well. But at that point, I didn't care. I think part of it was just keeping it real with y'all. Part of it was like, okay, I was kind of feeling trapped, and the thought of being trapped when I still was trying to figure myself out with men, like being trapped by a female, I thought, I gotta get out of this. So that was the perfect excuse for me to actually man up, for lack of a better word, and do what I should have done a while back. So yeah, me and my relationship with the new girl didn't last long, because she was wanting that traditional boyfriend, and I didn't know how to be that. Like, I couldn't. It wasn't in my thought processes. It wouldn't have been with the guy either, by the way. I just didn't know how to be in a relationship where I was equal, if that makes any sense. So she broke up with me, but like in the sweetest way. We were still friends. She still gave me like a Valentine's Day card, which I still have to this day, by the way, because it was so moving and touching. And she's still, you know, she's a beautiful person, and she's great. But that was kind of like, when that ended, it gave me the freedom to actually think, I don't think this is my path. You know, as much as I tried to convince myself that it was the realization that no. And I'm not gonna lie, after that, especially after joining the military and boot camp, I dated other girls, I did things with other girls as well, but I knew, like, I think after that situation, I knew what I really wanted, what eventually was going to be my path, and anything else that I was doing was just going through the motions, or just trying to fit in, trying to lie to society, you know. But deep down, I knew what I was. So I knew how my life was going to end, and it was going to be with a guy. You know, that was the only way I saw that happening. So that's my story. Yeah, as always, like would be great, subscribe would be even better, but most importantly, just comment and let me know, especially for my gay dudes out there. Like, did you have a similar experience? Are you somewhere on the bi spectrum, or did you have experience just being in the closet and trying to keep up in this facade? I'd love to hear any of it. Bye.